So one of the games for the Powers event is Sword Burst 2, and the prize is the Power Pauldrons. And so the first thing you need to do, if you're not in the right area, you have to go to Versed Woodlands. That's where the event or matchmaking or whatever the event or mission that starts with. Um, and it's pretty simple. It's just a wave or horde uh, game mode where you have to survive 10 waves of enemies. Um, and at the end, there'll be a boss you need to kill, and that will be it. That's all it is. You can queue up with 5 people, of course, but once you start with those 5 people or 4 others, no one else can join. It's just whatever you started with, that's who you're with for the entire time. Now, it doesn't matter what level you are. Even though I'm doing 1,000 damage to the enemies, it doesn't make a difference. If you remember, if ever, there was another Sword Burst event that was available um, a while ago, like last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. It was probably last year, and it was similar. It had to be. It was the matchmaking was on floor 1 as well, and so basically that means that anyone is able to do the event. You don't have to grind to play this game, but you will be at a kind of disadvantage. It seems like these guys, they do a lot more, since I have a lot more health than everybody else in this room. um, I take less damage, but since they're just like, if they're just a beginner, then they will take a lot more damage than I will. But damage wise, we all do the exact same damage. It's just dependent on how many hits you do. The numbers don't really matter at all. It's just how much hits. So if they do like 5 damage and I do like 1,000, it's the exact same damage to these monsters or enemies, basically. So if you think you're not doing anything, you are doing enough damage. It doesn't matter, but you gotta be more careful with your health and stuff. It doesn't matter if you die. It seems like you just respawn, which is good. I don't know. I haven't had everyone die at the same time, so I'm not sure if that's like a condition, but you'll see that everyone just leaves sometimes. But if you're high enough level, you can solo this. But if you're low level, it might be a little hard to do. It'll take you a very long time. I would just try to find a server or another round of people that are decently leveled to carry you through. It does take a while. I was going to leave the gameplay, just go on by itself, but that'll take like 20 minutes, so I might just speed it up just a bit. But a couple more tips. I would use your block ability. That does help absorb a ton of damage if you want to survive a long time. I do use it a little bit later on. The enemies do get tankier or get more health and do a little bit more damage later on in the rounds. So it does get a little bit hard, but in the beginning it's pretty easy. Also, at wave 5, there is a boss round, another boss you gotta defeat. A mini boss, I guess you could say, but of course on the 10th boss, there's the main boss. We have to fight the Satorian. But it does tell you when you look over at the middle, it tells you what wave you're on. So we're now on wave 3, and there's nothing to defend. There's no like, oh, you just gotta survive basically. But there's no like downfall to dying. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't die in this run, so I don't know if it matters if you have to die or if you die or not. If everyone dies once, I'm not entirely sure if that's how it works. I wouldn't know because I didn't die. So there's that. But in the end, when we do get to wave 10, and I'll probably come back at wave 10, you do get a new sword skill that's for dual wielding only. It's like the special Kirito 3-hit combo. Infinity Blade is what it's called. And you get, of course, the Power Pauldrons for your Roblox account. But anyways, that is pretty much all the information I can give. I don't know if you never played Sword Burst, just attack a lot, hold down left click because you don't need to click anymore. That's been a while, but some people don't know. But you want to use your block ability. I can't say enough that your block ability is pretty much your best friend in this game mode or this wave or event. You do get Vel and you do get experience, but not a lot. But you probably level up a couple times here and there. But yep, I'll probably speed it up, and if I get close to wave 10 or wave 5, I will come back and talk about it a little bit. So yeah, right back. Alright, so we're back. We're finishing wave 9 right now. And we're back for wave 10, the final wave, where the boss comes out. I'm not sure if you guessed, if you noticed that the enemies are based off, sometimes some of the waves are just based off one floor of enemies, but then around like wave 6, 7, they're kind of repeating after a while. Because they come from floor 6 is the desert-ish. I forgot what the name of that, name of the floor. But the enemies start to come from there, so like these Pauldrons, or whatever these are called, and the centaurs, or Centaurian defenders, that's where they come from, the dungeon boss room. And so obviously that makes sense because the actual boss is the Centaurian boss, or a Centaur boss. I forget the name of that guy too. But you'll see in a minute here that he is pretty tanky. Not gonna lie, it did take a while to actually defeat him. And here he is, the big hammer boy. It seems like he bugs out. Now, hear me out here. Now, it's always been a thing. I'm not sure. It doesn't happen often though. I mean, I'm sure he just bugged in this area and this kind of new area, but it seems like he bugged out because the other guy with me right now, I don't know who he is, some random guy, but seems like he was tracked on to him, and then, but since he died, he lost his, I guess, the player, and so he just kept then he kept infinitely walking. And since there's usually in the Sword Burst game, the dungeons, or anything in general, the world itself, usually they have each enemy has their own what do you call it, a range to reset. So they go too far from their spawn point, they reset back to the original place. And since there's no reset in this area, he just keeps walking in that direction. I'm not sure if you could just keep. I'm not sure if it does this all the time. Like I said, I've done this once. And I don't think I want to do it again. Like maybe 20 minutes to do this. I think, in my opinion, this is the longest event. Not longest event. This took the longest out of all the events I've done. Or not all the events I've done, but all the games for this event. So there was Zombie Rush and Power Simulator, and this one took the longest out of all of them for sure. And I guess I only had 2 people, I guess, doing it. So I guess that took a long time. For a long time to solo it, so I wouldn't try soloing it. But yeah, he got bugged, and we're just gonna keep attacking him until he's dead. Nothing really special. He just dies. Gets 16 Bell, I think. I don't know, not that much, not much. But and I don't know if anything drops any weapons. I think they chose specifically enemies that don't drop stuff. I could be wrong, but I think there is enemies that do drop stuff. That are in this dungeon-esque horde mode, but I don't think they actually have drops. They just disable them or whatever. But here's our last enemy to kill, and we look at the final wave, and it is completed. We get the badge and Infinity Slash for our dual wielding weapons. And I was like, you know what? Let's go back to Woodlands, and let's go test it out. Let's go check it out. If you don't have dual wielding swords, well, you could go buy them in Arcadia, pretty cheap. You could probably get enough Vel to buy 2 one-handed swords, basically. So we're back at Versed Woods, and we have to go into our skills options, and we have to what do you call it? Bind our keys to equip the new skill. So let's equip 2 random swords, whatever, doesn't matter what they are. Doesn't really matter. And we will go to skills, and we got Infinity Slash. I find it to be, I don't think it really matters. But we do a little test, and it's as I expected. That's what one of the Kirito's special combos. If you watch the anime, if ever, I'm sure you would have a idea if you play this game and not know what the anime is. But that's how it is. I don't know why I said that, but that's the event for Sword Burst 2. For Power Pauldrons, it's pretty long, but you'll get through it. I will not, if you ask me to help you, I will not help you. There's that. Putting at the end of the video if you noticed. But yes, that is true. I'm not going to help because that takes too long for me to do, and I got other things to do in my life. So there we go.